You are now tuned into The McGuffins.
This is where the fun begins.
Say hello to my little friend.
It doesn't matter who we are. What matters is our plan.
Oh, that logo, though.
There's the bathroom scene.
There it is.
There it is, handcuffed.
I don't think he's actually in the bathroom, though.
It looks so similar, though.
Agree to disagree.
It's even got that rusty, like, pipe thing that I told you about. Your picture shows it, like, pretty decent. He's just, like, it's just not on the same side of the room.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, so, that trailer's pretty awesome. Let's start with Eric. What do you think about that? You're the biggest Saw guy here. We want you to lay it on us. You're really into that. You know, the McGuffins horror has been milking Saw, like milk that comes from a cow that Joaquin Phoenix loves. So let's hear it. I want to hear you milk the shit out of this trailer. Let's hear the theories. What direction you think this is going in?
So, from the trailer, I've gathered that this could actually go in any direction. Before the trailer came out, I thought, it was clear that, of course, Samuel L. Jackson's going to be the new Jigsaw, right? But after seeing the trailer, I saw nothing indicating who or what is actually going on. When I watched the trailer, I thought the partner, the guy talking about his wife and his kids at the beginning was probably the killer. But then it's also possible that if they want to connect this to Jigsaw, they still can. Because it's a reboot, but Chris Rock did state that this takes place after all the other movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like the other movies didn't take place.
Yeah.
And that's what's interesting is that there might be a chance that we get some familiar locations. Like it looks like we got the bathroom there. It looks like we might get the tunnels or the room that Jigsaw died in. Because when they were sawing on the wall there, it looked like there was like a secret door, like in the Saw 3 and Saw 4, that Hoffman went through. Remember when he found the tape? Or no, Strom went through it and found the tape, and that's where his game began. And it just looks like there might be a lot of homages to the old movies, but at the same time, there might not be. It might just look like a familiar location, and might be a similar aesthetic. What do you think?
I think I agree with that. I mean, I definitely think that they're going to use similar locations. You posted that picture on your Instagram about the Dr. Gordon with the saw in the bathroom and Chris Rock with the saw in the bathroom, and it looks pretty spot on, like you said. But yeah, I was getting into some theories too, and I definitely think that it could be a red herring too. That this rookie cop, it looks like that's partners with Chris Rock, is going to be the bad guy. I think that could be a red herring. Like they want you to think that. I would love to see Samuel L. Jackson be the bad guy. I think that'd be pretty cool. I'm just pretty hyped now that I like how this reboot has brought bigger actors into the picture, because the old Saw movies, I don't even know what the budget was on those things, but they were never known for getting huge actors like Samuel L. and Chris Rock.
The biggest ones were like Cary Elwes and Donnie Wahlberg.
Yeah. And I think by, a lot of people, they eventually got a little tired once it gets to like Saw 6, Saw 7, I think a lot of people that were worn out by this series may, want to come back because, now they have huge actors that will draw more people into the movies. The way that they're going to use these actors, Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, I'm not really sure. I want to see what the trailer didn't show us anything really with Billy the clown, but I mean the why is it called Spiral? Is it called Spiral because of the chain of like the spiral saws that twist like gadgets and I don't gears? Or is it Spiral because Billy the clown has spirals on his cheeks? I don't know.
I don't know. I think they go hand in hand. Well, we're gonna go into a theory. It's the theory time. Theory time, boys. So, people originally thought this movie was called Spiral because of the spirals on Billy's cheeks, right?
Okay.
But the full title, Spiral from the Book of Saw, suggests that it means that Jigsaw wrote a book. Maybe it was called Spiral. It might have been about people, their lives coming spiraling out of control or something. Because Jigsaw was all about reforming people's lives. Because all of his victims were people that were basically victims of themselves. And I think it's a fascinating idea that Jigsaw might have written a book. I mean,
Yeah,
The Holy
that'd be
Bible.
cool. That'd be super cool.
so I think the Spiral might just be like,
Maybe it's in a spiral notebook.
Spiral might just be
He was really organized.
Yeah, they just find a spiral notebook with all of his traps and plans from the Book of Saw. There we go.
Spiral.
I was more or less maybe thinking that it was like the cult, like a cult kind of thing where people from all over the world are just kind of following Jigsaw's, philosophy, and they call it Spiral. I don't know.
Well, weren't people kind of following him anyway? Even though it was kind of like his plan, like they still had to like willingly follow him, right? Like, what was that guy's?
That's arguable. He basically forced Hoffman to work for him, or else all the
It's been a while
information-
since I watched them, so.
Dr. Gordon, though.
Yeah, Dr. Gordon, on the other hand, basically didn't have anything going for him because his wife and his child, they were all fucked up and shit. So
Yeah.
well, I think Dr. Gordon actually felt like he owed it to John to help him because through him, he was actually able to realize the error of his ways. Unlike Amanda and Hoffman, because those two people were just sadistic psychopaths.
Amanda sucked. I hated her. What do you think, Matt? Where do you think this project's gonna? What directions it's going? What is it going in?
Well, I think it's probably going to be something similar to that. I think it's something that, like, it's going to be a story about something that, like, the actual Jigsaw killer left behind for somebody else to, like, take over. I don't know exactly because it's really hard for me to, like, think into theories that much. And it's been a while since I've watched a Saw movie, so I got to rewatch them all to, like, come up with a pretty valid theory. But I mean, I guess it's a reboot, so it doesn't really have to follow exact, but, like, to me, I think that's where this is going. I'm kind of on board with that. That it's just something on a book, whatever. I mean, Book of Saw kind of implies that. So I think it's just there's somebody else that took over, and now the cops are trying to hunt him down because he's killing cops. He took it. Maybe it's somebody who doesn't like cops, and he's just taking the same ideologies that the original one had, of people like hurting themselves, but this guy just hates cops and he just wants to kill a bunch of cops and gets off on that. Who knows?
You know,
I'm not too sure.
I keep thinking back in the trailer we just watched. They make a pretty big point about the fact that they already released why the killer is doing what he's doing, and he's targeting cops. I'm wondering if they're gonna bring like some sort of social issue into this. And maybe
100%.
maybe
that's
he's targeting cops who wrongfully murdered people.
Yep.
Because all the Saw movies always go back to the reason why those people are in these terrible traps are because they've wronged other people or have done something wrong in their lives. So
He's
I'm
basically
thinking
playing karma, basically.
Yeah. So I'm thinking Chris Rock's going to use this to also like tell a message in some sort of way, which could also be pretty powerful. I mean, if it's executed properly.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
What-
not like super opposed to that because I know a lot of people that are super into movies will hear that and kind of think, oh no, now it's just gonna be just a ploy like some Black Lives Matter movement or something. But like you said, if it's done well, it can be really good. Like Joker was a really social movie, and that was still just really, really good. Obviously, it wasn't like a big social issue that a bunch of people are like complaining about, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I don't have any like hesitations to see it so far. It's a nice movie.
What
When
do you
it
think?
come-
Wait, you go.
Wait, say what you're gonna say.
No, you said what you were gonna say.
So I just think that it's probably gonna go the anthology route. I mean, the title from the Book of Saw kind of suggests that the next movie might be titled something different, like something maybe not Spiral 2, you know what I'm saying? Maybe something different, and it would have the subtitle from the Book of Saw.
Hmm.
You know, kind of like how Hobbs and Shaw is like Fast and Furious presents
Yeah, no, that'd be
Hobbs and
cool.
Shaw. So I think, because that's what they originally tried to do with Halloween, right? But people wanted more Michael Myers. At this point, the original Saw story has run its course. People don't want to really see that anymore. So
Yeah.
if they make it into an anthology movie series, kind of like Trick or Treat or Creep Show or kind of all that, where every movie from now on is kind of its own story.
Hmm.
And Jigsaw kind of tried to do that, but I also think that if it just continues to do that from here on, then that's probably the successful way. The only way to really bring Saw back as a franchise without people getting sick of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because people, I don't know, there's just a bad taste in people's mouth when it comes to Saw, man. There's like a stigma. I don't know what it is.
A lot of people just see it on its face as just a typical, uh, gore, not really scary movie, like gore thriller, like that just want to highlight, killing people for with no real story. I mean, the people that actually are into Saw, like I guess us, understand that there's actually a pretty good story behind it. Obviously, somewhere in between Saw 2 and Saw 3D, story gets a little convoluted and it does start to get a little campy, and divert from that main storyline. But I mean, a lot of people, I think that's their main hesitation with it, that they just think it's killing and the story. They're basically that there's no chronological storyline that's going on here.
Yep.
So
I honestly just want to see what happened to Hoffman. Or like I just want to see the bathroom again. And to be honest, like imagine Samuel L. Jackson walking into the bathroom and saying, "What the fuck?" Like Chris Rock did say that he wanted to inject some humor into this movie,
yeah,
but
I see a lot of people pretty upset about that part.
but it can be funny without like telling
Right.
jokes, without being
Yeah.
horrible humor. You know, just Samuel L. Jackson. You know, Pulp Fiction's
Yeah,
not meant
Pulp
to
Fiction.
be
I was
funny.
gonna say that.
But the things
It's
they do and say and how they
it's funny. Yeah.
act, it's just funny sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's a super good example because it's like that whole movie is basically serious, but there's so many like jokes and side things, but they're not like it's not like Rise of Skywalker comedy, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's that's like very clear moments they wanted like the theater to laugh or whatever. Like that's
Yeah.
I agree. I see it taking that sort of route as I can see why people get pissed because people just hate comedies because they think it's like not taking the movie seriously, but it's like it's Chris Rock. It's probably gonna be good. 'Cause
Mhm.
Chris Rock, like yeah, I'm sure he's not gonna. I mean, he'll probably make some stupid jokes. He kind of goes both ways. He kind of has some immature stuff and some like really mature stuff. So
Like grown-ups. We don't talk about that though.
So long as this movie doesn't become a parody of itself, then
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it, and I think with with having Samuel L. Jackson there and Chris Rock himself starring in it, they're gonna, I don't think they're gonna let it go down that route. They probably want to. They probably enjoy. They saw that the story, they saw the story, the original story, and they probably saw. Well, Chris Rock did. He probably saw that people do think it's campy, and people do think that the story is convoluted, or if there is a story at all. And he probably said, you know what, the idea is good, but just wasn't executed properly, or maybe something was lost in translation along the way. Let's make it what it should be with the same foundation that it was built off before.
Yeah,
Um,
because Saw was more of like a horror thriller. This seems like a crime drama,
yeah.
like 100% crime drama. And then there was that trap in the trailer that looked like, sort of like the reverse bear trap, but with the fingers
Oh
on.
yeah, yeah. So with that being said, where do you think this is gonna fall in relation to the other Saw movies? Like if you had to rate and rank the Saw movies in order from 1 to Jigsaw, how would you rate them? Where do you think this is gonna fall in?
This one is definitely going to be better than Jigsaw. However, it being better than the first three, that's going to be really difficult.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be that hard for it to be better than, say, 5 or maybe the final chapter. Because I didn't like the final chapter, Saw 3D. I liked it because it summed up Dr. Gordon's story. But
Hmm.
that whole part with like the fake author who conjured up the fake story of going through a trap,
Yeah,
I I get the message where they were going with that, but I didn't like his acting. I didn't like any of the acting in that movie, especially at the beginning with
yeah,
the love triangle trap. I thought the acting in that was terrible. Like it just takes you out of the movie. The thing about the other ones, like 1 through 6, is the acting's not so bad that it takes you out of the movie. Yeah, some of it's campy, but Saw 3D is like over the top camp.
Yeah.
Like Friday the 13th level camp.
yeah,
Yeah.
But if you're watching Saw 1 through 6, you can kind of take it seriously and still enjoy it. Don't watch Saw 3D unless you want to sum up the whole entire story. I'm just saying that. But yeah, my favorite one's definitely the first one.
yeah. I think most
I was
people
gonna
probably
say that.
agree.
The first
Yeah,
one.
the first two for me are like the ones I remember the most.
Yeah, Saw 2, Saw 3 was really good because I remember seeing it in the theater. I
Yep.
remember being so hyped to see it. Just the fact that there was a third one coming out made me excited when I was in middle school. That's how long ago this was.
Yeah, I haven't seen them in a long time. Probably that
And
long
then
also.
and then I saw Saw 4 with Aunt on my birthday
Hmm.
when I got
Oh,
the
oh.
Xbox 360.
Yeah,
So
that's the thing about this one. Not coming out in
it's not coming out in
October.
October.
Like, whoa.
But yeah, I really liked Saw 4 too. I mean, people say that the movies really started getting bad after Saw 3, but I really, really like Saw 4. I love Detective Rig. I love that it sums up Eric Matthews' story a little bit. I love that you find out that Amanda was, because I'm pretty sure this was the one where you find out that Amanda was working with Cecil. No, that's Saw 5 or 6. I don't know. Still, Saw 4, you find out a lot. Like, there was the whole twist that it was taking place at the same time as Saw 3.
Oh yeah. When you find out that it was all in the past.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what happens if Spiral takes place at the same time as some of the other movies?
Hmm.
What do you think about that? What do you think? Do you think it'll be like a blatant sequel to Jigsaw and
I
Saw
don't know.
3D, or do you think it'll be like a aha gotcha moment, like super gotcha moment at the end?
Yeah, I don't know. I hope that it's like that. I like that stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be super awesome.
Yeah.
Like this takes place at this Jigsaw,
What
just
is
somewhere else.
what is the? I think it's 5. The one where Hoffman is sitting behind the glass while the other guy gets crushed. While Stram gets
Yeah.
crushed. That's 5, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I
5.
think that's 5.
That's gotta be probably my second favorite since after 1, just because that ending was awesome.
Dude, it used to be my least favorite, but it's since turned into one of my probably my. I don't know. It's probably my second favorite.
Yeah.
Not my second favorite, but obviously the first 3 are my favorite. But Saw 4 and then Saw 5 are probably my favorite. Like the way I like the movies are probably the chronological order of them. To be honest,
Yeah. I feel like that's why it's a good series too, because
because
it's like
with Saw 5, it's like it's not that the movies progressively get bad, even though they do
No.
slightly. They do slightly because like there's some directors like David Hackle directed Saw 5. He had kind of he was the only one that was different from Saw 1 through 3, and then Saw 4 happened, and Darren Lynn Bousman was still involved in that. But David Hackle, who was a producer on Saw 4, directed Saw 5, and it had a different approach to it. You know, that was a crime drama. It was kind of like how I think Spiral's gonna be.
Good, because I like it that way.
Because the whole time Strom's going around trying to figure out who's working
Yeah.
with Saw and trying to prove that it was Hoffman. I'm excited to see some of that, and I really hope there's like a direct sequel to this movie. If there's a huge cliffhanger at the end, because there was a cliffhanger at the end of the Jigsaw, and we're never gonna get a follow up to it. I feel.
Mhm.
I feel like it has to have something like that at the end of it, like if it's a Saw movie.
Dude, I know that the majority of Saw 3D was like really campy and kind of flopped a little bit, but the ending is just so good.
Dude,
that,
the last 10 minutes of the movie are so good. 15 minutes.
yeah, as a Dr. Gordon stan, you gotta appreciate that last the last 10 minutes, and you see Gordon look down at the saw where Hoffman sees it, and Gordon
Yeah.
just like kicks it out of the room and then yells "Game over."
Yeah.
That was
like-
so amazing.
That just
'Cause
makes
then-
that puts that up in the top for me, honestly.
Yeah, it's huge because now he's fucked. It's
Yeah,
not like Dr. Gordon where he actually had a choice. He has no choice. He's literally just fucked.
He's stuck
Like,
there exactly. So
it's so like powerful, like just seeing that.
it wasn't Saw 3. Yeah, Saw 3D was also the one with Chester Bennington. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
legend.
I forgot that was Saw 3D.
Dude, the trap that he was in was disgusting.
Oh my god, dude! I don't even like I see it here because I'm like looking up pictures just
Yeah,
to
dude.
jog my memory a little bit, and I see that, and I'm just like trying to look at that
His
picture.
back was like sewn to
Like,
the chair of that car, and then
I thought it was
I-
like glued.
yeah, it was glued.
I don't know,
Like
it was,
super glued.
it
Yeah,
was bad.
I mean it was
Industrial
the same
glue.
effect as if it was sewn. So I mean
Yeah.
it might as well have been sewn.
Wow. I'm looking at Jigsaw right now. The budget was 10 million, and it made 102.9 at the box office. Jeez. For a movie that was not given much critical success. Wow.
Yeah, that's
Jigsaw.
what I'm saying. It didn't. They're not making a sequel to Jigsaw yet. It made so much money.
Yeah. Well, that was,
But-
I think Jigsaw was when they finally like everyone started hitting that saw wall. Kind of had just been going on forever.
No, because Jigsaw just came out. Like 8 years after Saw 3D.
Yeah, I don't know. I like completely forgot about Jigsaw. I like completely skipped over it.
You didn't miss
Oh.
much.
Came out in 2017. My bad. But still, that's 7 years. That's
Well, I
like,
mean,
way
I would
more
have
than enough
expected
time
to
for
hear more of it from Eric if it was like really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the fact that he wasn't like telling me to go see it kind of shows that it probably wasn't like a big deal.
Wow,
mean-
Saw 5 got a 13% on Rotten Tomatoes. Saw 3D got 10.
Dude, the problem with these movies is that they're not going to be good unless they start interconnecting with each other. And Jigsaw didn't really connect with any other movie in the franchise. It kind of it kind of forced its way into it, so to speak. Like, there's this character, I know Matt hasn't seen it yet, but there's this character who has apparently been working for Jigsaw longer than anybody else. Like, he's the one that kind of inspired Jigsaw to, have the philosophy that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an interesting concept. It's just I don't really think it was executed that well, and that's probably why people didn't talk about it that much.
Yeah.
So there's like a big deal character in Jigsaw?
Yeah, but it's a new character.
Oh.
It's not anybody you've ever seen before. That's why I said it kind of it forces its way into the franchise. Like retcons, huge retcons. And I'm afraid that that's what this thing's gonna do. Spiral. I don't want this to be just a pile of retcons.
I don't think it will be. Dude, the first Saw movie, released in October 29th, 2004, had a budget of 1 to 1.2 million.
I feel like the only way this movie
made like 100 million,
that,
right?
Yeah.
if it does the retcon thing. I think that's one of the only ways this movie can do bad. I feel like
the whole Rise of Skywalker approach.
Like you can't I don't know. I just feel like not with the Saw story, at least. Like that's part of why the Saw series is like such a big deal, is because it's got this like twisted story. Like you were saying earlier, a lot of people see Saw as like for the face value of all the traps. That's like completely secondary to the actual movies. Like if you've actually seen them, like it's almost like that's not even what the movies are about, even though it's pretty much like the main part of the movie. But that's why it's
marketed
so
to be that way.
It's really good storytelling. So like if you just like retcon it, I feel like that's just like a huge insult to like the older ones.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like a lot of people, like even if the movie's like okay, like not even the best, I just feel like people roast it if they like retcon something, because not only was it like not amazing, but now they just removed stuff from the other Saws, so it's like, okay, now you're fucked.
Like, retcons are only good if they're executed to serve the story in a better way, not to like remove plot.
Right, like what they were planning on doing with Warcraft 3. Like they were planning to do that to like alleviate the confusion between World of Warcraft and Warcraft. Like this would purely just be just to change it, just to fit their own story, and that's like not good. That's like a bad retcon.
And if Chris Rock does that, if Chris Rock does that, I will single-handedly, and I'm saying single-handedly.
Single-handedly. Did you die?
Wait, what are you gonna do? Single-handedly? Just one hand?
The crowd is waiting.
Chris Rock doesn't even want a piece of Eric.
No,
he's gonna turn into Chris Pebble after he's done with him.
Chris Pebble. No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm actually excited. Like when I first saw that first trailer that Eric sent, that was like not official, and it was like somebody videotaping the screen or whatever. Like it didn't look as good, but there was stuff left out. Yeah, there was stuff left out, and obviously it was less quality because it was like filmed on a screen. But after seeing the real one, I was like, damn, this looks really good.
But no, if Chris Rock retcons anything, I'm definitely gonna boycott him. That's the word I was thinking of. Boycott.
All right, so we'll be boycotting some Milk and some Chris Rock films.
All right.
Oh no.
And that'll conclude it for today's Saw discussion.
So Saw comes out in May, right?
May?
Yeah. Surprising.
May 2020.
May 15th?
May 15th. Yeah.
Are we ready?
So when that drops, get ready for a quick review on that one.
Yeah, when that drops, we're going to do a review on it. I'm also going to be starting up a new series here in a little bit on YouTube where I talk about Saw and explain the characters. I'm going to go over Jigsaw first and his story, and then I'm going to probably go over Dr. Gordon and Adam and their stories, and basically where everyone ends up in the Saw franchise, so we can do some theories later on and just have fun.
But those will be $15.99 each one. So.
And the Saw review is actually going to be live in the movie theater, so stay tuned for that one.
No, it'll be free content only.
Yeah, no, not $15.99.
For our opinion.
Movies aren't even $15.99.
Except maybe the Dolby, but
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it depends what movie theater you go to, and Dolby might bring it above